Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rekah, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, especially the 144,000, consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans in the land of the Americas, as well as the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst the other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, yeah, today I'm looking at Acts chapter 17. In particular, what came to mind was this precept here, verse 26. This is Apostle Paul speaking, Sermon on Mars Hill. And this is Paul when he went to Athens. And yeah, verse 26, and it says, and he hath, speaking of the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, says, and he hath made one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before appointed, and the bounds of their habitation. And you got this phrase here, the times, and hath, the Most High hath determined the times before appointed. And you've got the situation, for example, in the Middle East and in Russia and Ukraine. We've seen various reports coming out today. Today's, what's it now? It's Friday morning. We're in the Sabbath. I mean, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. And, yesterday, Thursday, we've seen all these reports coming out. We know World War III's on the way. Least of the flock drawing out other nations into this third global war. And so, obviously seeing all that, made me think of this particular situation. But, this obviously goes into, this particular verse goes into the times before being appointed, goes into many things. You've got the so-called election, more likely a selection, but, they call it an election. You've got the election of DJ Trump, who we believe is Nero reincarnated. So that is the time for that was appointed beforehand, as well as different kingdoms. You go to Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 2. You read of various kingdoms that were to appear on the face of the earth and to rule over certain periods of times. And all those kingdoms had their appointed time. And so this kingdom here that we have has its appointed time, even though the powers that be, the newspapers, the people that you have, these people that comment on the financial, the geopolitical system, worldwide, war, things like that. These professional people, and they all sort of have this opinion that this nation, this empire, the rulership that's going on now, the way the world is run, this democratic system, all over the world, they believe that will go on for forever. But however, the Most High appoints times for particular kingdoms. So there's a time for the kingdom to begin, and there's a time for the kingdom to end, and we're very fast approaching the end of this particular kingdom. And that's why the hopeful elect, those with the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, the Holy Spirit working on them. We see headlines like what we've seen today with Netanyahu. There's been an arrest warrant put out for Netanyahu. You've had it says here Putin declares Russia could launch nuclear strike in response to conventional attack from Ukraine. Obviously, you've got the trouble going on in the Middle East as well at the minute. And it says here ICC hits Israeli PM with a arrest warrant. So things are starting to heat up, and we know we're at the end of this particular empire. We've only got the introduction of the MOTB, a change of the worldwide digital monetary system, and then World War III, and then its destruction of this particular kingdom. And then is the appointed time of the kingdom of heaven, which is, and the how long that particular kingdom lasts, that is an everlasting kingdom. So the time appointed for that is to be everlasting. So we see these headlines, we get excited, as we should. I haven't really got much. Like the last couple of weeks, you've seen my videos, they slowed down a little bit. I've had a lot going on, so it's kind of got me a little bit distracted. I've explained. I don't really want to go into all of it, but about 3 months back, around August time, I was explaining. I had these certain situations going on at work. I explained I had these particular revelations, from Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, and then I explained, all this process I've been through in the last 7 years. Having the Most High makes certain things happen around me, and there's nothing I can do. And it's like a whirlwind arrives, and then what I've learned to do. Like I've explained this before, what's happening to me in 2024 this year is the same thing that happened twice already since I came into the truth. And so the Most High makes these situations happen, end up getting suspended or end up getting injured, end up being at home. The first time was for 10 months, then it was like for 7 months. And then so now I'm in the third time now. And then when I'm in those times, things start to get revealed to me, and then I realize. And what the Most High does is he puts me in, like secludes me from the world, so that my contact is minimal, and then then these things start to get revealed, and so on and so forth. So I explained as well also that obviously I was having these troubles at work because of the situation. You see, when bad things happen, the bad things happen to you, the real bad things that sort of threaten this or threaten that, but a threat onto your, we've all got to pay bills, we've all got to earn money, we've all got to, most of us got a family to look after, so you're kind of worried about, what they're doing, what they're getting up to. And so, we come across these problems, but what I've learned to do is put these problems at the feet of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, and say, well, if I've got this problem, it's because you're creating it. And so then I have to ask, why are you creating it? You see, when the Holy Spirit's working on you, when you think of these prophets in these scriptures, there's two things that they do quite a lot. One thing is trying to work stuff out. You see repeated events, you see patterns, the Most High shows you things, and then you have to work stuff out. Why did you show me that? What does it mean? Where's this going to go? And then another thing you do is wait, because we understand that we understand the Most High's playbook. We have the scriptures, we understand prophecy, so we stand back and we watch these events take place on the world. We believe we'll be swept off our feet when the destruction comes and removed out of the way. We're of the hopeful elect. And so, understanding that, we do a lot of waiting, because we look at the scriptures, we see the prophecies, we know what they are, we tick them off as they come, and we wait. And so, what do we wait for? We wait for these appointed times. You jump down to Acts 17, 31, it says, because he hath appointed a day in which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man whom he hath ordained, wherefore he hath given assurance unto all men, in that he hath raised him from the dead, Yahweh Shai. And so, again, it's back to that appointed time. These times are appointed, so when you're really working with the Spirit, you do a lot of searching, working out. The Most High leaves you messages, spiritual messages. You work it out, and then you do a lot of waiting. You do a lot of waiting for these appointed times. The beauty of the whole situation, how do we know we're really dealing with a higher power? Well, A, we see these prophecies. We're shown what they are, the Holy Spirit. We see them through the scriptures. We see them come to pass. And then B, even though we know the playbook, even though we know what's due to come to pass, everything was written thousands of years ago, somehow we're still affected by the events that come to pass. You see, really, we should look at the scriptures, we should know what's to come to pass, we should see it, and we should say, well, it's no surprise. Why do we get so angry at alphabet people? Didn't the scriptures tell us that we're going to be surrounded by alphabet people in these last days? Yet, despite the fact that we know the playbook, we read it, we already expect what to see, somehow when you see it, it still aggravates your spirit. So, that's the beauty of the way that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai controls this whole scenario. And ultimately, the reason why we get angry is because the Spirit of the Most High dwells within us. So, you see these certain things and they get on your nerves, and it's pretty much down to that particular fact. These other people out here, they don't have it. You're trying to break down these scriptures to them. You're trying to show them this. You're trying to show them that. But it's never going to, the Spirit is still not going to dwell within them. And so, they're never really going to see, what you can see. But yeah, the reason why I was, like I say, with this the appointed time, obviously I was looking at World War III, we've got the MOTB. I mean, even in my own situation, I've had this situation going on in 2024. The Most High made this particular thing happen. In August, I was explaining that I've got a lot of problems at work and people making these accusations. And I'm having to, they want to meet up with me, so I'm trying to delay it. I'm trying to claim illness. And then I'm trying to find another job. And so that's my own personal problem, which like I said, I don't really want to go into too much, but I have explained it before. And for the last 3 months, I've been searching quite hard for a job. And, this week, like in the last 2 weeks, things have started to pick up. And I realized, and I said to somebody, someone who knows this truth, I said, look, something's about to happen with me, because all of a sudden there's lots of activity around. So when I notice the activity start to build up, I know something's about to happen. The Most High's about to, there's like a spiritual chain, put it on or take it off. So like I say, I went through this process in 2024. You might not understand what I'm talking about. If you remember what I spoke of before, then you would. I thought that, it's kind of like in this situation where I'm almost on house arrest. And then I've had to turn into, a childminder, because now because I'm here, I'm end up being the main bloody carer for the child. So I was working, everything was going normal, making my money. All of a sudden, I'm told to not come back to work while they do this investigation. Now I'm on basic pay, no overtime. I'm struggling. It's been going on for about 7 months. And then they hit me with that thing, and then now it just looks like I can't really go back there. It's just all a bit of a problem. And the last couple of weeks, I've been on the phone with the solicitor and all this kind of stuff. So, and then I've been going up to these job interviews, and then this week, like I say, I started to see a lot of activity around me, and then I realised the Most High was about to make something happen. Throughout the whole time, what do? You keep praying, you keep asking the Most High to deliver you out of this situation. And, you pretty much do that on a daily basis. But, I've been going through it for like 10 months. But you still ask for it every day. 9 months and 3 days later, you're still asking, can you get me out of this situation? But what it is in the back of your mind, you then have to appreciate that there are appointed times and appointed days for things to happen. So, like when I look at it today, now it's like the 22nd of November, and the last time I went to work was the 22nd of Jan. So it's 10 months to the day. And yeah, so I think so yesterday basically I've been offered a new job. So lo and behold, now I have this chance to. I'm waiting for the contract to come. When the contract comes, I can sign that. I can quit my old job, and I think these new people want me to start on the 6th of January. So, you know, even in your own personal life, you should be able to spot spiritual signs. You should be able to spot patterns. You realize the Most High is doing this with me now. He's doing that. You know, there are times when you abound, times when you abase. When it comes to money, when it comes to women, when it comes to whatever, anything. And so you then have to appreciate the appointed times. You see, I've been going through this situation for 10 months, and in the last 3 months, it got really bad. And then you're kind of not, you're feeling all this stress all the time, and it builds up the tension. You don't really realize it, but it's just building up all the time. And then, even when I got told, like, oh, you've been successful in this job role, you feel the all of a sudden you feel the stress fall off your body, and it's almost like you feel dizzy for a second because you like the stress falls off, your whole body relaxes, and this tension disappears. But what it is the important part was to hold on, to hold on until the end. The Most High is going to work with you. I believe that. I have the faith. Um, you can't say you're doing the right thing because you can't obey the law 100%. So nobody's doing the right thing. So it's not obviously you can do the right thing to a certain degree. Follow the law to the best of your ability. Like today's a Sabbath day. Be aware of the Sabbath days. Observe it as best you can. Don't just fan your hand and whatever else, and then expect the Most High to work with you. But when the Most High is working with you, when He's got your eyes open to it, when you see the spiritual signs, you got to then remember there are appointed times. So when you're in a situation, when you're in a low point, you ask for help, you don't get it. The next day you ask for it again. The next day you ask for it again. You got to keep going. The Most High wants you to cry out. You see how far you go. This guy don't quit. I put him under pressure for every day for 10 months, and he's still asking me to deliver him from it. Nobody else, nothing else, no other divinity, no other materialistic good or anything else. So, that appointed times, people don't really realize it. People with the Holy Spirit, they do realize it. The true men of the Most High, the prophets that are speaking it, that's why they're out there warning you, because they understand that there's this appointed time is fast approaching. It says it because He hath appointed a day in which He will judge the world in righteousness, and that's coming very soon. Donald Trump's come in. Got these people that you got, like, obviously on one hand you've got like all these Karens and these weirdos, these people that are backing feminine liberalism and abortions. They back you got these women with the green haircuts, the blue haircuts, orange, pink, always supporting some sort of group, and then always doing some sort of fundraising, protesting, fighting for something, always fighting for something. You got these like these Kamala Harris supporters. They've come out, they've had their say at the end of the election. They had their pretty much their meltdown moment, and then on the other side you've got the Trump supporters. They're thinking, okay, yeah, Trump's here, America's going to be great again. The appointed time is done for America. What Donald Trump is almost like a swan song. He's announced all these procession of events. Was it in 2026? I mean, don't be surprised if the Most High takes America out during that period, or even just before it takes place, because America's reaching that 250-year mark. I think Apostle Tahar went into that. The empires average, was it the average lifespan of an empire is 250 years, and in America's pretty much on the mark, 249, 250. So they think it's going to carry on. They got this belief system. They believe in their science, their technology, but what they don't realize is the Most High has an appointed time. This destruction is coming. We're building up into Jacob's trouble. The key elements of Jacob's trouble are all present, and the Most High is warming them up. However, the main destructions come suddenly. You got obviously the MOTB, you got the World War III, and then the actual destruction of America itself. There is an appointed day. That same day, it says here, because he hath appointed a day in which he will judge the world in righteousness, and that day is the day that America totally gets destroyed. So, we wait, we stay patient, we keep praying. Certain times you go through certain situations that are kind of difficult. You find yourself in a low point. You ask for help. You wake up the next day. You don't get the help. You don't see it there. So what do? You ask again. The next day you wake up. You don't see the help there again. But you got to keep asking. Don't forget. Is it the one day to the Most High is as in 1,000 years to us? I believe that's right. If I quoted that right. So, you having to wait, me having to wait, for example, 10 months for my little situation to resolve itself, living on the breadline, getting in low moods. I lost the pattern. As much as we hate work, in the shitty environment that we live in, we need a job because it gives you a pattern, a daily pattern of routine. Some people, they need that to keep them kind of focused. So, you go through all these kind of like little problems. You got to remember that you think, I had to wait 10 months, but that's like a millisecond to Yahweh Ba'ashim Hawashai. They turned around, they saw you in trouble, and they present you with a solution. I was pissed off because the job that these people pretty much tried to oust me by making these false accusations, and what it was a receptionist job, and it wasn't really like, I'm a receptionist, wow, yes, amazing. So, but what it was working in healthcare, and so that it was at night time, and so the hourly rate was good, and so that's what it was. And then I could do overtime. It was shift pattern, so you could do overtime, and you could build up more money. And that's why I was kind of pissed. Then you think, I'm going to end up at a job, basic wage. Don't get me wrong, we're here to just survive until we make it to the kingdom of heaven, but money is a defense. We're not exactly rolling in it. So if you can get $2,000 a month and just about cover your bills, or if you can get $2,500 a month, why not go for the $2,500 or whatever, $3,000, $4,000, whatever you need. So, but the job that I've just accepted, or they've offered me, that it's like 13, 14 grand a year more than my old job. So, all of a sudden, the rainbow comes out, that sign from Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, not the alphabet rainbow, but the true rainbow. Like after the storm, you say, here's the rainbow. And obviously the rainbow is a sign from the Most High that he won't flood the world again. He won't do us in that way like he did the earth before. So you have those rainbow moments. The main rainbow moment comes when Yahweh Shai comes. But in the meantime, we go through these certain situations. It's going to be the same in Jacob's trouble. When the MOTB gets made mandatory, you ain't going to have no money. And you're going to be struggling, and your mood's going to go low, and at the minute, you work, you do this, you do that, you have daily patterns. And as much as, like I say, we hate going to work, doing these things, we hate being in this society, everything's backwards, everything's wrong, and we want it to be corrected. but we're human beings, so these things keep us functioning. And so when they say to you, oh, all of a sudden you can't go to work because you can't buy or sell, because you can't have the device, you don't want the device under your skin, your routine will get broken. And then that's when your mood starts to get low. Then you've got your family on at you, just go and take the thing, just go and take it, the MOTB, just take it, just take it. And then all of a sudden you've got all this other stuff going on. So, what we're going through it now. What was stressing me out is I was thinking to myself, we're on the edge of Jacob's trouble and I'm looking for a job. What the kind of fucking shit is that? But the Most High has irony. He puts you in he has irony. He'll bring irony to the situation. So, and in the back of your mind, I said, yeah, I know the Most High is going to do something, but what? And that's why I say, what do we do a lot of? We do a lot of trying to work out what the Most High is going to do with us, and we do a lot of waiting. And so I waited, keep praying, and eventually, he throws you a job. You're earning 13, 14 grand a year more. And still working nights, 4 on, 4 off. And what it is, obviously I've got older experience working on construction. Even though the last 10 years I've been working in the hospital. So what I managed to do is kind of, be creative with my information. And so I've got into maintenance at the airport. So it's just, you're on the airport and basically you just get calls from different places to say this is broken, that's broken, you just got to go around and fix it. So, Kushti, and it's working with all men, no women. You work in them office environments, you get these women, they're talking, chatting shit behind your back, make you want to backhand them, but you can't, because everybody's protected. Women are protected, alphabet people are protected, children are protected, everybody's protected apart from the man. Especially the man with melanin in his skin. So, when you're in that hospital environment, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that BS. Rainbow flags everywhere, all that kind of shit. I don't have to see any of that crap anymore. Just work with 3 other men, and they're all older than me. So I know they, no childish behaviour and all that kind of stuff. So, to be honest, I'm kind of shocked how I kind of managed to swing the role. But again, it's all down to the Most High. You just got to keep doing your thing. I went to one interview and then they asked me back for another one. So I went to the second one. Then they rang me on Monday. They said, oh, we want to offer you the job. But it was like a range of salary. When I said, well, what you offering me? They hit me with a low figure. So I was kind of pissed. And then I was like, I'm going to have to accept it because I got no choice. But then I said, can you give me 24 hours to think about it? And then within that 24 hours, someone else rang me and said, I can get you an interview at this place, at the airport. So I said, yeah, go on. And then next day I went so I held off the first job. And the next day I went for the interview at the airport. And then that was like midday. Then by 4 o'clock, they gave me the job. And what it was, apparently, they've been seeing people so often and, nobody fits the bill. So they keep doing interviews and interviews. And where they saw me, they really wanted me. And then they told the agency to cancel all the other interviews after that. So the Most High makes it happen. I went to one interview, for example, and they turned me down. And, you can be pissed. You can have a go at the guy and sit there and think, or not even if you say it to him, but even to yourself, you can blame the guy. He's racist. He's that. He didn't want me. Blah blah blah. But nah, I don't think like that. I think now the Most High, he didn't want to offer me the job. The Most High didn't want me to have that job. So, that's an easy way to kind of accept it, move on. And what you're doing is you're putting everything at the feet of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. You're showing them, yeah, I know you're in control. Look, I'll give everything to you. I ain't gonna blame this guy for not giving me a job. I'll say you didn't put it in his hand to give me the job. But then later on down the line you find out why. Oh, because you wanted me to go to this other job, and this job that I've just landed is more money than all the other jobs that I've applied for. So You know, 13, 14 grand a year more. And I'm working 4 on, 4 off, which means you're only working 6 months of the year, which means you've got 6 months to do overtime as well. So, you know, like we're not here to like, you know, live a high life, P Diddy lifestyle and all that. But you know, the bottom line is money is a defense, and we need to, you know, get by. You know, who knows how long we're going to be here for? So it is a bit annoying, a bit ironic. You go into job interviews, talk about the future, pensions, you know, prospects, and all this kind of stuff. Prospects for growth. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, do you know what? Can't the Most High just come and blitz this kingdom tomorrow? So you know, he can't, because there is a time, you know, an appointed time, an appointed day. There is an appointed day when the MOTB gets made mandatory. We don't know what it is. The Most High knows what it is, but we believe it's very soon. You know, 2025 is going to be one hell of a year. You know, you got DJ Trump. He's calling on all the entourage. You know, all his particular advisors. They're all, I don't know all their names, but you've seen who he's been linking up with in the last few days. You know, this Most High is really about to put judgment to America and the world. This MOTB's coming. You know, you think of like what Donald Trump's like coming with, what he's armed with in terms of his cabinet, and then you've got like, you know, the things that the WEF have been announcing all through 2023, 2024. They've been saying 2025 is going to be this, it's going to be that, it's going to be whatever else. You know, you've got the heightened tension of people, you've got the financial problems. Um, you know, 2025 is going to be a major year. Something, you know, things are going to happen. I mean, we've still got 6 weeks left of this year. You know, something could still go down. It could be an assassination on the DJ, or or any other, in any other way. You know, you've just had Biden. Biden's coming out and saying, yeah, just telling Ukraine, yeah, just start hitting Russia hard. He's trying to create a World War Three. You know, he's thrown the stone at the glass house and he's running away. He's ran off into the distance, but he threw the stone at the glass house, and everybody's waiting for it to shatter. So yeah, it's coming soon. So, but like I say, I just wanted to go through this. I mean, I could go on for a bit longer, but you know, this is Apostle Paul at Athens. And what it is about Athens is they, you know, they had a, you know, they were into their philosophies. Um, I've got it here actually. You've got the. It says the Roman Empire was generally tolerant of all religions, but only if they conformed to the Roman nation's proper religion. Um, this is just a bit of history. As the military genius Alexander the Great launched from the ports of Greece and conquered the known world, the human-centered philosophy and values born in Athens also conquered the ancient world through trade, music, language, theatre, and lifestyle. It's long after the military power of the Greek Empire had been dissolved by the Romans, the power of Hellenistic worldview lived on, conquering the minds and hearts of people throughout the Roman Empire. So, you know, there was this Hellenism. Um, you know, Hellenism can refer to a number of things, including a modern religion, a period of Greek history, Hellenistic period, a period of Greek history that lasted from the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BC to the rise of Augustus in Rome 31 BC. So you got Hellenism, you got Hellenistic. So there's a difference. Let me check it out here. It says while Hellenistic refers to the period after the death of Alexander the Great, the term Hellenic is most commonly used to describe the period before the death of Alexander, as well as the geographical region of mainland Greece itself. Hellenic is derived from the Greek word for Greece itself. Hellas is Hellenic typically refers to the Greek culture itself, with Hellenistic connects that culture with the wider areas under the control of Alexander and his successors. So, when Apostle Paul went to the Greeks, he went to the Hellenes, and, they're pretty much Israelites who have lived under, that type of philosophy and a Hellenistic lifestyle. But obviously, you've got these modern day anti-Christians, led by Vocab Malone, who fail to understand that. So they see the word Greek and they go, "Well, he's a Greek." But obviously, we know the word goes back to Hellene. But so what it was in that time there, even though obviously it was Rome, Paul speaking, during the time of the Roman rule in Athens, you still had obviously all these different philosophies, these things that were believed upon. So you got Paul at Athens. It says, "Now while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him when he saw the city wholly given to idolatry," because he would have seen it, and it would have just all of a sudden he's just got to say something. It says, "Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him." It says, then it goes on to say, "Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him, and some said, What will the babbler say? Other some, He seemeth to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Yahushai and the resurrection. And they took him and brought him unto Areopagus, saying, May we know what this new doctrine wherefore thou speakest is?" Because you see, these philosophers of the Epicureans and the Stoics, they were used to these gods. Don't forget, in the ancient Greek lifestyle, you had these, you had the god of the wind, the god of the rain, god of the sun, god of the storm, and even when you apply it to today, people, they believe in like one most high, but then they believe in these other gods. Even when you watch football, they're going about the gods of football, or the gods of this, the gods of the Olympics, and then obviously even going into religion, you've got many different gods. I mean, I remember being young. I was about 10, 12 years old, and I said, like, I had this moment where I said to my granddad, I was like, "Why?" I remember asking him, "Why? How can there be so many religions? How many?" And remember looking up in the sky, saying, "Well, how many gods are up there?" I was only a kid, so I'm just seeing it black and white, and he kind of laughed at it, and he was like, "Well, there's only one God." But then that just left me more confused. I was like, "Well, if there's only one God in the sky, then somebody's wrong. All these people praying, worshipping, going hard for their religion, and there's, how many religions are there? There's like multiple religions, all over the earth, all over the place. Yet somebody's wrong. In fact, not all of you, all of you are wrong apart from one." But he kind of laughed it off, and that's kind of like the way of the world. They, if you're really a follower of your religion, for example, like these Muslims, if they really want to follow their religion hardcore to a T, they wouldn't be mixing with a lot of people, so they wouldn't spread into parts of the world, certain parts of the world. But what they do, they spread into parts of the world with their religion. They take on other philosophies and customs, they mix it with their own. Then they all get along. That's how all these different religions, they all get along. You'll go to, for example, in the UK, you'll go to one city and you'll see 5 different temples. One Sikh, one Muslim, one Christian church, one this, one that. And then you'll say to yourself, well, how can you be in one city and there's all these different types of worship? Oh, well, we're all allowed to do what we want. Yeah, but only one of you can be right. How can there be all these different religions and only one God in the sky? These people believe, in the world, like what it is, you've got a lot of people, they believe in all these different things. You've got a woman who thinks she's a man, wants to be called, Dominique wants to be called Dominic. And so living his or her life, whatever it is. Can't stand men, can't stand Muslims, can't stand whatever. And you've got like Muslims can't stand these guys, can't stand those. You've got the Chinese. Chinese don't like nobody. That's why Chinese never mix. You get the odd one here or there, but they never really mix. It's socially like you get white people, black people, then Asian people will mix in a little bit here and there, and Chinese people just don't want to mix with nobody. You've got all these different people with different belief systems. They hate the other belief systems, but when they when they die, see, this is what gets me. All these people out here arguing and challenging each other over what their own belief system is. But when they die, they go through the same door and they face the same entity, which is Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai. So forget all that. You see how pointless all this stuff is. All this talk in the world. All these people that believe in this. I want this. I'm like this. I don't like that. Oh, I can't get on with those people. You've got people that are racist towards black people. Oh, I can't go near them. Yeah, but when you die, you go through the same entrance that they go through. What don't you like? You don't like men, you're going to go through the same door as them. You don't like batty people, you're going to go through the same door as them. We all go through the same door, but everybody's out here fighting for this different belief system, and it's kind of just hot air. It's just a waste of breath. But that's what it is. That's what the Most High has created. It's back to the fact that we know the playbook, we understand it, we know what to expect, but when we see it, it still gets us. That's the Most High. He's got that kind of, tapped into us. So, but yeah. So carrying on here. So they took Paul up to is it Areopagus, saying, "May we know this new doctrine whereof thou speakest." It says, "For thou bringest strange things to our ears. We would know therefore what these things mean." It says, "For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else, but either to tell or to hear some new thing." So he's in a place where people have got all these philosophies and all these things that they believe in. It's like now you got these, people, they do all these things for spirituality, their karma, their chi. You got the feng shui. What's the other one with the I can't remember them all. What the Rastas do, or you got the all these different things they try to connect with the aura of their own body. You got people worshipping on different gods, different idols. They believe there is a one particular Most High, but then they believe in Lady Luck. Well, where the fuck's Lady Luck? Has anybody ever seen Lady Luck? Has she got blonde hair? Is she brunette? So, but you have that same thing still in the world today, and you come across these people that Athens was that type of place. And so all of a sudden Paul comes along and they're like, wow, what's this? Some miraculous story. And Paul could have probably spun them any old BS story that he wanted. But, he could have said the Most High is the Jolly Green Giant, and they probably would have gone, wow, that's amazing. And Paul could have told them, because he ate his peas when he was young, and that made him big, and that's why he's the Most High. They would have probably bought it. And some people would have said, nah, that's rubbish. Some people would have said, yeah. These people were just kind of lost spiritually, and that's why they're into all these things. That's why when Apostle Paul's going to these particular places, obviously he's searching out Israelites, and he's just cutting it to them straight, like, look, you're an Israelite, forget all this BS, forget all this nonsense. I'm gonna show you the way of Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai. But yeah, they're like, yeah, show us what these things mean. We love hearing this new stuff. The Sermon on Mars Hill says, "Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious." So there's a spiritual power out there. You understand it. That's a definite. You get a tick in your box for that one. It says here, "But for I passed by and beheld your devotions. I found an altar with the inscription, To the unknown God." It says, therefore ye ignorantly worship him, declare I unto you. So imagine that. And that's what gets me. These people, it's like today. You know, everybody will tell you, oh, I worship the God. I believe in God. I pray to God. Well, which God? You know, the word God just pretty much means power. And then the Muslims will say, well, no, I believe in Allah. Well, what does Allah mean? Allah is just a Paleo Hebrew word that means power. It goes back to the word God. So we just gone full circle. You know, oh, I believe in God. Well, which God? God's just a title. You know, I'm friends with the bus driver. Well, which bus driver? There's thousands of bus drivers. You have to pinpoint which one. It says, he whom ye therefore ye ignorantly worship. That's possible. Told them you're ignorant. Ignorant is obviously not knowing. You're worshipping something, but you don't even know what. That's what you've even gone to the point where I passed by and beheld your devotion. I found an altar with the inscription to the unknown power. How unlogical is that? Apostle Paul must have looked at it and thought, what the fuck is this? You're praying to something, but you don't know what you're praying to, and so you've even written it. Oh yeah, I'm praying to the unknown God. Him declare I unto you, Yahweh Bashim Hawshai. It says, the Most High that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is the Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. So like I say, you go to a city in the UK, you've got 5, 6 different temples from different religions. Would you think this becomes a holy city? No, not at all. And how can all of you be right? So really, if you are following your religion properly, how could you then go and dwell with these people? Or, is that not blasphemy to your own religion? I don't get it. But what these people do, they live in these cities, they believe in one religion, but there's 5 other religions, there's 5 other temples in that same city, and when they go to the temple, oh, the Most High, they act nice, they act sweet. As soon as they get out of the temple, they act like a demon. They just see it like, and that's what Apostle Paul's saying. He says, look, the Most High that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is the Lord, the Master of heaven and earth, he dwelleth. He doesn't say he, but he is pretty much talking to about the Most High. Dwelleth not in temples made with hands. It says, neither is worshipped with men's hands, as though he needed anything. He don't need nothing of you. Whatever you got, he made it. He gave it to you. And now you're trying to go, oh, thank you to the Most High. Look, I've got this for you. He's just looking at you like, what? I fucking gave it to you in the first place. It says, sin he giveth to all life and breath and all things, and hath made of one blood all nations of men, for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before appointed, and the bounds of their habitation. That's why I said we do a lot of working out, and we do a lot of waiting. It says that they should seek the Lord, if happily they might feel after him. And so, even when you're waiting, you're seeking the Lord. You're going through situations, you pray for the Most High, you don't get a response, you wake up the next day, you pray to the Most High again, you don't get a response. What happens the next day? You pray again, you just keep going. And and then it says, as it says that they should seek the Lord. What you're doing is you're seeking. At some point, the Most High has to say, I have to give this man credit. He keeps calling on me. I gave him the Holy Spirit. I wanted to see what he did with it, and he's calling on me, even when he's been afflicted, and even though when he knows that I'm the one afflicting him. Just like Job, he's still going to come back to me. It says, if haply they might feel after him and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. It says, for in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your poets have said, for we are also his offspring. Because these poets produce creative writing. And you get things like mythology and these myths. So you go into this place like Athens, everyone's got this belief, oh, we love a new story, tell us this one, Paul. What's this one about? We've heard the story of the Messiah like this, we've heard that version, we've heard that version. And even today, when you look at it, it's like you go to all these different nations around the earth, they've all got their version of the story of the great flood in the days of Noah. And it happened. The scriptures tell you of it, and we break it down clearly. And when you go to these other nations, you'll find evidence of it. But, their people have written it down. So Apostle Paul's saying, look, your own poets, it says, for in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said. Because people believe, like I say, they believe that there is a higher power. They believe there's a spirit. Things happen in a certain way. And they say, now this is too good to be true. There must be a higher power making this happen. Or whatever else. Sometimes people get into a bad situation, they call on a higher power, nothing happens, and they don't believe in a higher power. Sometimes you believe in a higher power, like myself. I believe in the higher power. I have a problem, I will keep asking for that help. And so you understand that there is higher powers out there, but when these people are lost, they're well and truly lost. They go to places like Athens, they pick up these different philosophies, they hear these stories, and what people tend to do is tend to take the nice bits they like and piece it together and make something that suits them, rather than something that actually tells them the truth. So, I was looking into, even I was looking at these types of things, like even in my own household when I was growing up. Like my granddad, he's still got one of these things. He's got like all these types of photos. This is from the Sikh religion. And he's got one of these metal statue, this metal, it's made out of plastic, but obviously it looks gold. And he's got one it's about 4 or 5 foot tall. They got a little room in my gran and granddad in their house, and they got like this thing here, then they got the picture on the wall, and they got another picture, then they got a picture of the Golden Temple in India, and all these things. And I look at it and I think, well, so you're showing me a picture of the Golden Temple. Just the Golden Temple isn't the Most High. They'll put something like this up and present it in gold, but really it's made out of plastic. So what's that all about? Even if it was gold, the Most High's looking at the gold like, well, I gave you the gold. You've only got gold because I put it there for you to have in the first place. And so people, they think, they look at these things, they go to the church, they say, oh, the Most High's here, oh, don't swear in the church. As soon as they get outside the church, they're swearing, effing and blinding. So what's the difference? Yeah, I'll swear, I don't really care. So I ain't going to pretend. You try not to swear, obviously, to keep conversation clean. If you're at work in a professional environment, you try not to swear. Don't swear in front of the kids because they're just going to repeat what you say. It doesn't look good. But, these people, they'll go to church. Don't swear because you're in church. As soon as they get out of church, walk across the road, and they're effing this, effing that. It's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. And it's also like stupidness. It doesn't even make logical sense. I was looking at the Buddhas. They love a statue in the Far East. They got all their ones out there. And then I went into like deities. A deity is a supernatural being that is considered divine and worthy of worship. And then you go to, as it says, the word deity was coined by Saint Augustine, a theologian whose writings were influential in the shaping of Western Christianity. Synonyms of deity include divinity, holiness, and Godhead. So that's what Apostle Paul was saying. You got all these Godheads just because you got this picture. Wow, it's a picture of this God. And you go down and pray to it and worship it. As soon as you get around the corner, you act like a demon anyway. And these gods ain't really gods. There's no life in them. What did Apostle Paul come to show you? The name of the unknown God. To even get to a point where they wrote it, it's you can kind of give it to them. They're zealous. They want to believe in a higher power, but You don't know what it is, so you write an inscription to say, well, I don't know what your name is, but I'm going to pray to you anyway, to the unknown God. How does that make sense? But this is why the word of the Most High goes out. But yeah, then I went into Wikipedia, a list of deities by classification. I mean, you'll be here all day. Creator, supreme God, the making of gods, triple deity, mother of gods, father of gods, gods as spirits of the defiled dead. It says here the veneration of the dead, including one's ancestors, is based on love and respect for the deceased. In some cultures, it is related to belief that the dead have a continued existence and may possess the ability to influence the fortune of the living. Some groups. So you see what it's all about. It's just about people trying to make themselves feel better. Oh, your ancestors have passed away. Oh no, well they live on. They live. Well, we know they do through the spirit. We know the truth. But what I'm saying is, these people out here, they just bug out about it. Then they go and find someone into witchcraft or sorcery, a soothsayer, and then they'll try and make contact, with their dead relative, and all that kind of nonsense. I mean, look, gods of the sky. The skies often has important religious significance. Many religions, both polytheistic and monotheistic, have deities associated with the sky. God of the sun, God of the moon. You could go on all day. And then you go into like other deities by association. Gods of chaos, gods of doorways and thresholds, gods of the night, queen of heaven, gods of smithing, gods of... I mean, you could just go on all day. You've got a pantheon. A pantheon is a particular set of all gods of any individual polytheistic religion, mythology, or tradition. So this is when you start making it up. I'm pretty sure you're just making it all up. They've got Holy Spirit here. The Holy Spirit, otherwise known as the Holy Ghost, is a concept with the Abrahamic religions. In Judaism, the Holy Spirit is understood as a divine quality of force of the Most High manifesting in the world. That is true. The Most High being Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, particularly in the acts of prophecy. Yes, that's where we're at now. Creation and guidance. That's what I said. So sometimes you in these situations, you call on the Most High, you might not feel like you're going to get a response, but you will at some point, especially if the Most High is working with you. It's just down to you to whether you believe that or not. The Most High has appointed times. So I was in this problem all year. This has been going on for me, but it's the third time it's happened. The first time the Most High did it to me for 10 months. The second time did it for 7 months. So when it happened this time, I knew it was going to be one of the two. I sat it out for 7 months, and then it got really bad, and then I thought, shit, here we go. And then I kind of had a feeling that, give it another 3 months, and, that could be the time that the Most High has appointed for that time for this chain to come off. And lo and behold, it's here. So, you just kind of got to see it out. So, but, the Holy Spirit, I mean, we could go on all day about it. I mean, you have the Holy Spirit sent by the Most High. It's a righteous spirit. You have the spirit of wisdom. Then you have many other spirits, or demons, or angels, angelic beings, whatever you want to call them. And they come out, they work on the minds of men. They manifest through the works of men in the world. But, what the men of the world, they then do is they try to, they understand it, they kind of realize something's there, coincide, working with them within their minds, or, within things that happen around them. And then they try to create things and, turn them into religions or belief systems. You've got avatar here. Avatar is a concept within Hinduism that in Sanskrit literally means descent. It signifies the material appearance or incarnation of a powerful deity or spirit on earth. The relative verb to alight, to make one's appearance, is sometimes used to refer to any guru or revered human being. So deities depicted with horns or antlers are found in numerous religions across the world. Horned animals such as bulls, goats, and rams may be worshipped as deities to or serve as inspiration for a deity appearance in religions that venerate animal gods. Many pagan religions include horned deities. So even like the religion of Christianity, the anti-Christians, they they believe that the devil is this red being underground with horns. It's just part of that. They've just worked idea has worked its way into that religion, just as well as this has worked its way into other religions. But it's not true. So I'm not going to go on for too much longer, but we know the Most High. We know the Most High. We know His name, Yahweh. We know His Son, Yahweh Shai. We understand, their workings. We understand the playbook. We see what's going on. We see World War III coming to pass very soon. We see the MOTB on its way too. These people out here, they don't know. They're oblivious. And very soon, the unknown. It says here, to the unknown God, the unknown power, the unknown Most High, is going to make Himself known. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is going to declare His name upon this earth. Starting with that great judgment. You got the MOTB to be made mandatory. That signifies a time of great judgment. You got World War III, another time of horrific judgment, and then you've got the destruction of America. Even after that, when the kingdom of heaven, when the World War III ends, and the Most High puts His men back on earth to establish the kingdom of heaven, people are going to fight against them, and they're still going to call on their false gods, their false idols. They're going to try and fight back until they witness the spiritual power. And if at that point you're not believing in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, then you will. You'll either believe, or people will perish. So when people start to see that spiritual power, start to play, that's when they'll step back and start to listen. So Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is the unknown power, really. When you think about it, these people don't really know Him, but He's about to introduce Himself, the Most High, and His Son Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I hope that was edifying. Until next time, I'm gonna say all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakah Kwadash. And until next time, Shalom.